If you like to enter photo contests, one thing you'll want to do is track what photos that you've entered and what awards or selections they've received. Uh, One reason would be not to enter the same photo again in the same photo contest, but the other reason would be to track how well your photos are doing, what photos seem to be getting some recognition, and you may even want to promote that photo in other photo contests. The best way to do it in Lightroom is to tag the photo with a keyword that relates to the contest that you are entering. Now you could just add keywords on the fly to any photo, but I don't recommend that. I recommend creating a keyword list so that you have a consistent way of tagging the photos and it's easier to search for them. You can see under our current keyword list, we have one set of keywords called MCC competition. And last month, when we discussed MCC's competition, I had a set of keywords that you could import and start using right away. But for your own contest, since they vary so much, there wouldn't be a set of keywords to import. So what we're going to do is show you how to create your own keyword list this time. So let's start here with the plus sign next to the keyword so we can create a new keyword tag. And I'm going to create an overall one called contest. So it's going to be a hierarchy and all my contests are going to fall under that. You notice that you have keyword tag options that they can be exported in your EXIF data when you export a photo. I really don't want them going out attached to my photos. This is just personally for me for tracking, so I uncheck that. So nothing else is checked here, so I just could go ahead and do create. The second thing I do is create years under the contest, so I can track my contest by the years I entered them. So if you right click under this keyword that we just created, you'll have several options here. Create a keyword tag inside of contest, so it'll be listed under contest. So we'll do that, and I'm going to create a keyword tag for 2018. Again, uncheck. Great, and now if we drop down contest, you'll see the 2018 here. Now what I'm going to do as I enter contests is I'm going to create tags for each contest as I come to them, research them, prepare my photos, and export them to send them off to the contest. I want to tag my photos as I'm doing that. So I'll right click again, and let's create a couple of contests that we're going to enter. So I'm going to create keyword inside of 2018. One of them would be a gallery, and one of the vanity galleries that I discussed during the presentation is the Center for Fine Art Photography in Fort Collins, Colorado. So let me create a shorthand for that, and I think I'm going to just call it C. Get in there. C for Fine Art Photography. That's going to let me know what contest that was. I'll uncheck that again. This is put inside 2018. So now I have one contest. Let me put a second one for demonstration purposes. Again, we're going to create keyword inside of 2018, and let's say this is going to be the Smithsonian contest. Create that there. Okay, so we now have two contests. So to tag any photo, let's say this is the one I'm going to submit to the Fine Art Gallery, and I will click that, and let's say I'm going to submit that one to the Smithsonian, and we'll click that. So now at any time during the year, if I want to see, well, what photos did I submit to any particular contest? If you look over here, you can see on the right-hand side that there is the number of photos that have been tagged. And then you see that right-hand arrow. If I click that right-hand arrow, it will do a search for me and take me to that one photo that I submitted to the fine art. Or do a right click here, and this is the one I submitted to the Smithsonian. Okay, so let me go back to my animals here. So as time would go on, and let's say I was lucky enough that this one was selected to hang in the fine art gallery, what I would do at that point is, since this is not really a contest, it's just whether you're selected or not to be displayed, I'm going to right click on the fine art gallery, create a keyword inside, and I'm going to call that selected. Create that, and then I'm going to tag this photo with selected. Okay, time went on and I didn't make the cut for the Smithsonian, but at the end of 2018, I'll be able to see all the contests that I participated in, and I can tell the ones that are going to have the little right triangle next to them meant I got some sort of recognition, and I can bring that down whether it was selected or an honorable mention or first place. I can find all the results over time for my photographs. This method is great for tracking what photos you entered into what contest and what the results are. But one thing Lightroom doesn't provide is any kind of timed notifications. And there's two things usually that I want to track: the ending of a submission period and a selection time, so that I can go back and check to see if my photographs might be selected, or if they weren't, whose were, what were the winners, what did they look like, which is a part of my research, part of my education for doing better next time. The way to do that is I just use my personal calendar. Now, it doesn't matter what operating system you're on, whatever calendar that comes with your system. In this case, I'm on Microsoft Windows, so I use the Microsoft Outlook calendar. So let's switch over to that. And you can see this is for February, and I have 3 items relating to photo contest. A closing time frame here for the big picture competition, one in Florida, and there's the Smithsonian, this is for selection time if mine made the short list. So what I do is I add an all-day event so that it will alarm me that this is coming up. If we look at the details of this event, the other thing I do is add the URL where I need to go. In this case, where I need to go to submit my photos for the big picture contest. And this is important because you look at so many websites, you might not be able to remember and track back to where you were. Let's look at the next event, and that was entering a contest in Florida. And if you take a look, it's the same information. It's time to enter that contest, and here is the URL to make an entry. In fact, this is one of the aggregation contest sites, the call for entry, or the cafe website where you can go and do your entries. And the last event is the Smithsonian, and that's different. That's not a submission. This is the short list. It's time to do the short list. And so I could take a look, and what I did, my photos weren't selected, but I went through and looked at the type of photos that they selected to compare against what I submitted, which I can look in Lightroom and see what I submitted and compare it to the type of photos they selected. Well, that's it. Those are the two things that I do to track my photos. Create keywords in Lightroom and tag the photos that I entered, and then use my personal calendar for key dates on submission deadlines and time to look for photo selections.